Hafaday Jan Manana Sizuas, Imina 35 na legislatura in Guam is called to order. Majority Leader, Vice Speaker Nelson, you are recognized.
Situs Masi, Madam Speaker, I move to adopt today's legislative agenda dated May 16, 2019.
A motion was made to adopt today's legislative session agenda dated May 16, 2019. Are there any objections? Hearing no objections, motion carries. Majority Leader, Vice Speaker Nelson, you are recognized. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I will ask that Senator Amanda Shelton please lead us in, I do apologize. Senator Regine Bisco Lee, can you please kindly lead us in the recognition of a recipient of Emila Adzen Mastakilu na Sacrificial? Thank you. Senator Amanda Shelton, can you kindly lead us in prayer?
Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for this day, the blessings that you've given to us and to our island. We ask that during this session, you grace us with your wisdom and your strength so that we may do your will. Amen.
Senator Shelton, for the recognition of a recipient of Emiladzan Mustakilu na Sacrificial, I'd like to recognize Senator Regine Bisco Lee. Kindly.
Sijus Masi, Madam Speaker, good morning, colleagues. On behalf of a grateful island and country, we honor Cook Petty Officer First Class Enrique Blas Garrido, World War II, and the family of Cook Petty Officer First Class Enrique Blas Garrido for making the ultimate sacrifice in service and defense of our island and country.
Sijus Masi, Senator Lee, and at this time for the recitation of Inafresi, Senator Lee, kindly lead us.
Inafresi, Gininimas Takilu, Ginasoku, Imas Takulum, Gi Kurasonhu, Zanimas Figu, Nanina Senyahu, Hu Ufresin Maisadzu, Parabai Putehi, Zani Defendi, I Hinengi, I Kutura, I Lingwahi, I Airi, I Hanum, Zani Tanu Samoru, Niren Shaku Diretsu Ginanas Zuastata, Esti Hua Fitma, Gihilui Biblia, Zani Benderahu, I Benderan Guahan.
Sijus Masi, Senator Lee, and at this time to lead us in singing of the Guam hymn and Chamorro and singing of the national anthem, I would like to ask Senator Will Castro and Senator Joe San Augustine to lead us both together.
Ready? Go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Panogi Chamorro Puritanota Kantaya Tunanagi Toru Ilugar Para honra, para gloria, Abiba is blessed para honra, para gloria, Abiba is blessed para todo e tempo e paz para ita zangin langit na bendición contra peligro na fam sa fuham Deus protege Islam Guam contra peligro na fam sa fuham Deus protege Islam Guam. Ready? Thank you, Chair. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free and the home of the brave.
Dunkaluna Situ Smasi, Hamzunados. Madam Clerk, Haji Mangagi Gwini put for vote. Roll call.
Senator Castro. Senator Lee. Senator Marsh Taitano. Senator Moylan. Speaker Munya Barnes.
Manana Situ Skagya.
Senator Munya. Vice Speaker Nelson. Senator Perez. Senator Ragel. Senator San Augustine. Senator Shelton. Senator Taitagui. Senator Pito Terlahi. Senator Therese Terlahi. Senator Torres. Madam Speaker, there is a quorum.
Situ Smasi, Madam Clerk. Vice Speaker Nelson, Majority Leader, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker, I move to waive session agenda item number 8.
On that motion to waive session agenda item number 8, are there any objections? If there are no objections, motion carries. Majority Leader, Vice Speaker Nelson, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker, there are communications and petitions, and I move that they be appended to today's session journal.
On the motion that communications and petitions be appended to today's session journal, are there any objections? Seeing that there are no objections, motion carries.
Madam
Majority Leader, Vice Speaker Nelson, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker, there are messages from E. Magahagan Guahan, and I move that they be appended to today's session journal.
On the motion that messages from Imagahagan Guahan be appended to today's session journal, are there any objections? If there are no objections, motion carries. Majority Leader, Vice Speaker Nelson, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker, there are reports of standing committees, and I move that they be appended to today's session journal.
On the motion that the reports of standing committees be appended to today's session journal, are there any objections? If there are no objections, motion carries. Majority Leader, Vice Speaker Nelson, you are recognized.
Sijus Masi, Madam Speaker, there are no reports of select committees.
Thank you. Please proceed.
I move that bills introduced 96 to 35 COR through 100-35 COR, 101-35 LS through 126-35 LS, 127-35 COR, 128-35 LS, and 129-35 COR through 137-35 COR, and resolutions introduced, resolutions numbers 105-35 LS through 115-35 LS, and 116-35 COR through 135-35, through 134-35 COR, be deemed to have been given their first reading.
On the motion, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. We are in motions. Majority Leader, Vice Speaker Nelson, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker, I move to excuse senators not present for today's legislative session.
On that motion, without any objections, motion carries.
Madam Speaker, I move that all congratulatory, commendatory, and condolence resolutions introduced today and for the remainder of this legislative session be considered first read and adopted to allow the Legislative Council to make technical corrections and to add all senators and co-sponsors.
On that motion, without any objection, motion carries. We are in legislative concurrence. Senator Pito Chirlayi, you are recognized.
Jesus Masia, Madam Speaker, and good morning to everybody.
Wait,
Notwithstanding the...
Senator Chirlayi, one moment, please.
all right.
I do apologize. Senator Chirlayi, please forgive me. I was told that Senator Tydegui raised her hand, and I will acknowledge her at this time. Put football, please forgive me. I will acknowledge Senator Tydegui at this time. We are still in motions before we go to concurrence. Go ahead and sit.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, notwithstanding the House rules, I move to place Bill 132 on the session agenda.
On that motion, are there any objections? Senator Regine Lee, you are recognized.
Buenas, Madam Speaker. I don't object to the motion, but I just want to be clear that we can vote to set aside, and notwithstanding the House rules, but we cannot set aside the law. And 2 GCA Section 2103A prohibits us from passing a bill that has not received a public hearing unless the presiding officer declares a public health or public safety emergency, or if 2 identical bills are introduced and the second of these 2 bills has received a public hearing, the public hearing for the first bill may also be waived. I understand that this is not a motion to pass this bill. This is simply a motion to place it. So I just wanted to raise it for the body so that they're aware. And I also want to make note that Senator Tydegui has submitted a written request to the Committee on Rules indicating that this bill, Bill 132, is, quote, nearly identical to Bill 20. And she raised the question about whether this provision allows a waiver of the public hearing. And because the law is specific that the bill must be identical, court advised the good senator that it is not. So if we are to pass this bill without holding a public hearing, we would have to do so, as I'm sure you're aware, Madam Speaker, based on a public health or public safety emergency declaration by the presiding officer.
Yes, and I will note for the record that I hereby certify that the emergency conditions exist involving danger to safety, and therefore the public hearing requirement for this said bill is waived in accordance with 2 GCA Section 2103A. Thank you. So on that, Senator,
Yes,
I
thank
will
you,
go
Madam.
ahead. One moment, please. Let me just finish addressing Senator Tydegui. She still had the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I appreciate the information provided to the body, and know that there will be, if I'm not mistaking, a letter sent to all the...
Yes, that letter is as we speak,
Okay, thank you.
being sent,
Thank
was
you.
sent to all the colleagues just a minute
to
ago.
address this. Okay,
Yes.
thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Senator Therese Chirlayi, you are recognized.
Yes, on the motion, Madam Speaker, I object. I guess I would like to know, there is a different funding that is listed in this bill, and I guess I want to know, are we not able to expedite this in a public hearing, and are we going to go into committee of the whole today? Because if we're going to go into committee of the whole and be able to do what we would have done in a public hearing, then perhaps, I wouldn't object, but I guess I would like if the author could amend her motion to ensure that we're going to go into committee of the whole to discuss the changes in this bill from the original bill.
I'm going to go ahead and take a moment recess to confer with the clerk and legal counsel based on what was submitted. the legislature is back from recess. Senator Terlahi, we cannot know if we're going to do a motion to do a committee of the whole unless the bill gets on or not. So I'm going to adhere to your objection to the motion being the bill being placed on the agenda right now. But Senator Torres, can you please state if you have a point of inquiry or?
Yes, a point of clarification, Madam Speaker. You mentioned that you're going to allow it because it constitutes an emergency, and I just wanted clarification on what emergency exists that Bill 132-35 be placed. Because as I understand it, it's an act relative to appropriating some funds to the GPD for security cameras and related equipment, and I'm just not so sure of the imminent danger.
And my certification based on it meeting the concern of safety as provided in Section 2 GCA, and that's my clarification at this time. So there has been an objection on the floor. All those in favor of placing the bill. Senator Vice Speaker Nelson, do you have a point of information or a point of inquiry?
Yes, just a point of information, Madam Speaker.
Please state your point of information, please.
This is a very dangerous precedent that we are going to set. And if we forego a public hearing, even though the bill is similar but not identical, this is skirting the people's process to have a say. And I want to humbly caution my colleagues against this. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. This is not a debatable motion. There's been an objection. All those in favor, please,
Speaker,
state your point of
could you
order,
please
Senator.
clarify that a motion to place a bill on the session floor is not debatable? I believe that's debatable, and that's what we should be doing right now, is debating whether to put that bill on the agenda or not. Especially if we're waiving a public hearing that's required by law, and especially if we are not going to follow our own rules and going to committee of the whole to hear what the differences are in this bill compared to the original.
And Senator, my response to you was a motion cannot be made to go into the committee of the whole if a bill is not placed. So we're premature at this time. So,
Not making that motion, Madam Speaker. I was asking the author if she would amend her original motion to put it on the agenda and to include that it be of course, go into committee of the whole in accordance with our rules. So I'm hoping that that process is not going to be bypassed by any other process here.
and Senator Terlahi, the mover of the motion, has noted by a shake of her head, no, she will not do that additional motion. If you want to proffer that as a support to her motion, like I said, the bill has to get on first. So I will note that there is an objection to this motion. All those?
Roll call, Madam Speaker.
Yes. There has been an objection on the floor. If anyone wishes to place bill number 132 on the agenda, please signify by raising your hand.
Madam Speaker, I believe I made a request for roll call.
I understand you made a roll call. Madam Vice, do you have a point of information, Senator Taitano? Or
Hunkin, I had raised my hands a couple of times. So I just, since we're talking about a very serious consideration, I wanted to hear the name of the bill to understand and make it clear to all of us, because we have nothing ahead in front of us, and to those that are watching and tuning in,
yes,
to understand what bill we are indeed talking about. And
thank you, Senator Taitano. The bill is being given and put on the table right now as we speak.
okay,
There is an objection on the floor. There was a roll call made, and I'm going to ask, based on the objection, the bill is being given to each member right now. I'm going to take a moment's recess. Imina 35 na legislature in Guam is back from recess. The copies have been transmitted. There has been an objection. All those in favor?
Roll call, Madam Speaker. We have,
There was one roll
yes,
call.
there are three.
Madam Speaker, I still have a point of information.
The point, what is your point of information, Senator
The point
Taitano?
of information, I find this very troubling. This is a very serious consideration that we're being asked to do, and I feel
Senator, this bill,
extremely
I do apologize,
uncomfortable.
this bill, we are not debating, we are on a motion to add a bill on the floor. It is not debatable. I'm going to rule you out of order at this time. There is an objection on the floor. Please.
Session is
all
9
those-
days away.
So I need to know, there has been an objection. There was one roll call. No, I have to hear the roll call. Can you please state the, that's roll call number 2. Please speak into the mic if you have a roll call so that the presiding officer can hear.
Roll call, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. There is a second roll call.
Roll call, Madam
Thank
Speaker.
you. Thank you, Senator Terlahi. There is roll call. Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Senator Castro. Senator Castro, aye. Senator Lee. Senator Lee, nay. Senator Marsh Titano.
I just want to be very clear what I'm voting on, since it was not described whatsoever. Are we voting on not putting it on the floor, or voting on to put it on the floor?
Senator, it is to put Bill 132-35 COR on the floor.
Senator Marsh Titano, nay. Senator Moylan. Senator Moylan, aye. Speaker Munya Barnes.
Aye.
Speaker Munya Barnes, aye. Senator Munya. Senator Munya, aye. Vice Speaker Nelson. Vice Speaker Nelson, nay. Senator Perez. Senator Perez, nay. Senator Ragel. Senator Ragel, aye. Senator San Senator San aye. Senator Shelton. Senator Shelton, nay. Senator Taitagui. Senator Taitagui, aye. Senator Pito Terlahi. Senator Pito Terlahi, aye. Senator Therese Terlahi. Senator Therese Terlahi, nay. Senator Torres. Senator Torres, nay.
To place Bill number 132-35 COR, it receives 8 ayes and 7 nays. Bill number 132-35 COR is placed on the agenda. We are on motions. Anyone else on motions? Senator Therese Terlahi, are you raising your hand? Yes, sir. Thank you, Senator Terlahi. Anyone else on motion? Senator Sabina Parrish, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Notwithstanding House rules, I move to place the nomination of Nicholas J. Pape on the session agenda. It's now not
Say
the
that
time.
name one more time again. I apologize.
Nicholas Pape on the session agenda
On that motion,
to serve as a member of the Guam EPA Board of Directors.
on that motion, has the committee report been uploaded? Are there any objections? No objections? Motion carries. Any other motions at this time? Senator Terlahi, on a motion? We
Ma-
are on, are you doing a motion or legislative concurrence? Legislative concurrence, Senator Terlahi, right?
Legislative concurrence.
Yes, thank you. If there are no other motions, Senator Pito, I will recognize you. Put for vote Consigi on the legislative concurrence. Consigi, put for vote.
Jesus Masi, Madam Speaker. I move to place in the voting file from the Committee on Public Safety, Border Safety, Military and Veterans Affairs, Mayor's Council, Infrastructure and Public Transit, the nomination of Vincent P. Arreola to serve as Director of the Department of Public Works with a recommendation to confirm.
On that motion, without any objection, motion carries. Senator Joseph Augustine, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker, I move to place in the voting file from the Committee on General Government Operations, Appropriation and Housing the nomination of Marilyn R. Bora to serve as a member of the Guam Ethics Commission with the recommendation to do confirm.
On that motion, without any objections, motion carries. Senator San Augustine, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker, I move to place in the voting file from the Committee on General Government Operations, Appropriation and Housing the nomination of Donalyn C. Camacho to serve as a member of the Guam Ethics Commission with a recommendation to confirm.
On that motion, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Senator San Augustine, please proceed.
Madam Speaker, I move to place in the voting file from the Committee on General Government Operations, Appropriation and Housing the nomination of Robert S. Jack to serve as a member of the Guam Ethics Commission with the recommendation to confirm.
On that motion, without any objection, motion carries. Senator San Augustine,
Madam Speaker, I move to place in the voting file from the Committee on General Government Operation, Appropriation and Housing the nomination of Shannon J. Murphy to serve as a member of the Guam Ethics Commission with a recommendation to confirm.
on that motion, without any objection, motion carries. Senator Therese Tillari, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to place in the voting file from the Committee on Health, Tourism, Historic Preservation, Land and Justice the nomination of Phyllis L. Leon Guerrero to serve as Director of the Department of Integrated Services for Individuals with Disabilities, or DISIT, with a recommendation to confirm.
On that motion, without any objection, motion carries. Senator Joseph Augustine, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker, I move to place in the voting file from the Committee on General Government Operation, Appropriation and Housing the nomination of Margaret E.R. Taekwenko to serve as a member of the Guam Ethics Commission with the recommendation to confirm.
On that motion, without any objections, motion carries. Senator Sabina Parrish, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to place the nomination of Nicholas Pape to serve as a member of the Guam EP Board of Directors on the voting file
With a recommendation to do confirm.
with the recommendation to confirm.
On that motion, without any objection, motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now on second reading. Senator Sabina, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker, I move to go back to motions.
On that motion, are there any objections? Motion carries. Senator Sabina, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to resolve into the Committee of the Whole for the purpose of deliberating and addressing matters on Bill 79-35 as amended by the Committee on General Government Operations, Appropriations, and Housing.
Yeah. Senator Sabina, I do apologize. You could motion that on second reading. So can you move to take us back to second reading, please?
My apologies, Madam Speaker. I move to go back to go to second reading.
To motion us to go, without any objection, motion carries. On the motion, Senator Sabina,
Thank
you can move us to third reading and then just move to resolve us. Just to Senator Sabina to recognize the motion to move into the Committee of a Whole.
Okay, Suzu Masi, Madam Speaker. I
Sen-
move.
Senator Jean, do you have a point of information or?
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
I'm not sure. It's my understanding that we need to first, in motions, place the item on our agenda. So if there's no item on our agenda, it's difficult for me to understand what we're moving into
The
committee
motion
on
to
hold to
accept, Madam,
discuss.
good Senator from Tamuning, the motion to accept the agenda this morning was accepted, and bill number 79 is on that agenda, Madam Senator. I do apologize, I cannot hear you. It's on the agenda.
Sidus Masi, Madam Speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at the session agenda as adopted. Senator Lee, are you okay? Thank you very much, Senator Lee. Senator Parrish, you are recognized. On the motion to go into the committee of the whole.
So point of inquiry, Madam Speaker, do I place it on the agenda and then go to the committee of the whole? It's already placed? Okay. All right, Suzu Masti. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to resolve into the committee of whole for the purposes of deliberating and addressing matters on Bill 79-35 as amended by the Committee on the General Government Operations, Appropriations, and Housing.
If you can read the title, please.
And that, the title of the bill?
Yes, please.
Okay, the title of the bill is an act to add section 1512.4 to Title V, Guam Code Annotated, relative to authorizing the Governor of Guam, Imagahagan Guahan, to issue the Government of Guam bonds for the purpose of financing a new landfill cell for the Luzon landfill.
Does she? Okay. On that motion to resolve into the committee of the whole, without any objections, motion carries. We will take a moment's recess just to reset the room for the committee of the whole.
Committee of the Whole is in order. We will recess until 2 o'clock, and we will contact all the parties that will be participating, such as the Director of the following agencies: Department of Administration, Mr. Byrne, the Director of BBMR, Mr. Lester Carlson, the Director, or Ms. Melly Mendiola from GITA, and also the Director of GSWA, Mr. Gantz. Until such time, we will recess until 2 o'clock.